exterminated. The rats. Filthy, disgusting, disease-ridden rats, and I can't tolerate even the thought of them. They have to be gotten rid of, the sooner the better. Top to bottom.
Yes, that is exactly what should be done. But you must give me some time, please, Harry.
Time for what? Just kill the rats. Do you understand? Kill those rats.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
You want answers? I think I told you. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Welcome, welcome. I'm Sean Sims, your host of the Outsiders Podcast. We're back. 2026, 2025, that was something else. We have a lot going on. The crazy weather, ice Armageddon, whatever you want to call it, the snow. I'm shoveling car out and shoveling my walkway, and it's a lot going on. And the Trump administration, ICE grabbing people, getting them out. Illegal aliens, violent criminals, people getting shot. It's something else. We're bringing in 2026. In 2026, it's going to be quite a year. In 2026, those corrupt politicians, those people, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Tampon Timmy Walsh. Oh, he's in trouble. Mayor Fry, Minneapolis. Oh my goodness, the Attorney General. They're in a lot of trouble. And it's going to pick up. We got our governor here, Wes Moore, SNAP, whistleblowers. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about any whistleblowers. I don't know anything. What whistleblowers? I don't know. Never heard of them. What are whistleblowers? I don't know anything. Right, sure. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to dive in depth. And we're going to look at a Baltimore Dynasty. Frank Conaway. I knew Frank Conaway. We go to his office. I knew Frank. I knew his mind. He had money ideas and all types of plans, and he would go over them with me and have me look at them. Oh yeah, sure. See, people don't know that. He had all kinds of ideas. He was a thinker. He was quite a guy. And I do consider Frank a friend. But the Dynasty, Conaway Dynasty, is now in utter disgrace. Utter disgrace from these kids, grandkid of his. It's a shame. We're gonna deep dive in what's going on with the Conaways and Governor Wes Moore and these whistleblowers. So first, let's go ahead and relive what happened and go over a guy I consider a pretty good guy, and that's Frank Conaway, Sr.
Donald Schaefer. 11 News reporter David Collins joins us in the studio with more on this Baltimore Icon. David.
Stan, Frank Conaway Sr. is being remembered by family, friends, and peers as one of the most colorful, fearless, and dedicated public servants in the city's history.
Baltimore was one of the leading cities in the world.
Friends called 81-year-old Frank Conaway Sr. the Lion of Baltimore.
He roared over many issues. If there was something that Frank thought needed to be changed, he would stand up and fight it.
He stood up against the criminal culture of stop snitching by giving away cameras. He urged residents to start snapping pictures of crimes in progress.
He was definitely old Baltimore politics, and he loved his community, and he wanted the best for his community. And yes, he was a little flamboyant at times with things, but it was all from the heart.
Back in 1982, he got into hot water while helping his wife campaign for City Register of Wills. He was also making an unsuccessful re-election bid as a delegate. The couple gave away 50 smoke detectors, 1,000 loaves of bread, and an undetermined number of chickens. They deny the giveaways were intended to win votes. They said it was designed to draw attention to inner-city hunger and the rising death toll from city house fires that year.
I believe he felt that he was an accountability measure for government and really challenged authority.
He frequently challenged incumbent mayors. According to the Sun paper, he ran for sheriff on a cowboy platform, handed out photos of himself in cowboy attire.
Questions into.
He helped his son Frank Jr. win his old state house seat back in 2006. Sr. is best known as the long-serving clerk of courts in Baltimore City. His daughter Belinda is Register of Wills. He saw himself as Papa Bear of a political family dynasty.
Uncle Frank was a true family man. He loved his family. He supported all of us.
Frank Sr. began his political career during the start of Black Power. He called himself the godfather of African-American politics.
This is a man who couldn't even eat at a lunch counter until his 30s. And this is a man who helped make Baltimore a better place because he took on authority.
He attended Frederick Douglass High School and Morgan University. He boxed, serving in the U.S. Army.
Whether you agree with him or disagree with him, he was a public servant for decades and has really had given so much to Baltimore. So he's certainly going to be missed.
Governor Larry Hogan expressed his condolences. He said Maryland has lost a tremendous public servant.
And Maryland did lose a tremendous, I believe, a tremendous public servant. But let's talk about now. Let's talk about the Conaway name and what's going on now. Let's talk about, they mentioned her in the video, Belinda Conaway. Now, Belinda Conaway and I have never been introduced. We've been in the same places on occasions, but we've never talked except a few exchanges via email. I knew Frank fairly well, met him at Dwight Pettit's fundraiser for Governor Ehrlich, Bob Ehrlich. That's where I met Frank Conaway Sr. Funny story, we're at the fundraiser and we're trying to help myself and Desiree Dodson, my friend and business partner, and we're trying to help with our Joshua Assessment Group organization, the governor win the race. And he finishes talking. This is just a segue because this is a really good story. We can't reach his manager. He set us up with his manager, so we're supposed to consult. And we did some help out. And couldn't reach the man. Desiree put the governor in a headlock. When he walked off the stage after speaking, people were looking, I'm standing there like, does she have Governor Ehrlich in a headlock? Yes, she did. He turned and he'll ask him, it's true. He turned beet red. Then he looks at me and he goes, Shaw, is that true? Because she says, we can't get a hold of your campaign manager. He won't call us back. Had him in a headlock. When he looked at me and said, Sean, is that true? I said, yep. It's true. He couldn't get a hold of him. And of course he lost to O'Malley. But that's another story. But that's where I first met Frank Conaway, and would go to his office and we would discuss business and he would show me his business plans and go over the, not too much detail, just enough. But right now, wow, does the apple fall way from the tree with Belinda Conaway. My goodness, you have right now a federal case, Paris D. Smith versus Central Booking, Belinda Conaway, Baltimore City Sheriff, and you can look it up in Pacer, kidnapping, allegations of kidnapping Belinda Conaway at a hearing where I guess the estate or will was being read or something to that effect. That's serious. And then we have another situation, and you all know about it, and let's go ahead and take a look at that.
Advisor Rebecca Pryor details where the money went and why it's raising red flags. Rebecca?
Yeah, investigators found that the office spent, but couldn't justify spending more than $1 million on promotions and marketing. And now, a state ethics board is taking a closer look. When imagining the work done inside a public agency...
Stop. It's right there. A state ethics board? No, you need a state prosecutor taking a look. State ethics, who gives a rip what state, be perfectly blunt, who gives a rip what state ethics said? So what? Slap on the wrist. Oh, please don't do that anymore next time. No. Let's continue to look at this story.
Handling wills and estates. Most people think paperwork and probate, not manicure kits and media deals. But a new state audit paints a troubling picture over how Baltimore's Register of Wills is spending your tax dollars. Investigators finding the office paid more than $1 million on media and promotions.
Stop. Over $1 million for some Register of Wills office on promotions. Okay, where'd that $1.1 million go? Let's continue.
Including $200,000 on an informational television show.
Wait, I got it. This is outrageous. This is the corruption in Baltimore City. Okay, so you got almost $200,000 went to some type of production. Okay, and let's continue. She's going to say the production didn't happen. Okay, we all know the story. Allegedly, her nickname down at the circuit court. Now, this is coming from people who work at the circuit court. Allegedly, her nickname is the embezzlement lady. Okay, the people who work there, some of them don't know who she is. But when you tell them and explain what she did, oh, I know who you're talking about. Or you're talking about the embezzlement lady. That's what her nickname, allegedly, is at the circuit court. So you have $200,000 that's unaccounted for. I'm not including the other, $900,000. Just focus on the $200,000. And you're supposed to have a crew come in, shoot a commercial video of some kind, and you got the labor, you got equipment, you got to pay for the time, and then wait. Then you got to set it up with marketing. You got to pay for the marketing. Who are you going to? You're going to have commercials. You got to put that together. I used to do this. Okay, so you got to put all that together. Then of course you have the receipts. So you have a receipt for every payment that you pay out to each company, whoever you're using, whatever radio station or TV station that you're using, on top of all that. So that when the Office of Legislative Audits or an audit takes place, they go in, oh, we spent $200,000 on advertising for a commercial or whatever. Okay, and then you can show them. When the Office of Legislative Audits went in to look for all of this, unaccounted for. That is, you know what, I'm going to use this. I have AI, and you all have AI. I mean, you can use AI. And I use this all the time. And when it comes to something like this situation, I'm going to AI it, and I'm going to look up what AI says. Let me see. AI, okay. If an office has $1.1 million unaccounted for, could that be embezzlement? That's the question I'm going to ask AI. If an office has $1.1 million unaccounted for, could that be embezzlement? I love this AI. This is great. It's going to give me the answer. Yes! $1.1 million in unaccounted for funds in an office, that's the Register of Wills office, in an office setting is a massive. Did you hear that? AG Anthony Brown? Anthony Brown, no good Nick, get him out. He's worthless. A massive red flag for embezzlement, which is the fraudulent misappropriation of theft of funds entrusted to an employee or manager. Let me put this to the camera so you all, I hope you can see that. I hope you can see what that says. Let me put that. You can freeze frame it, and you can look it up yourself. I didn't just make that up. So let's continue.
That was never aired. And $1,300 on 500 manicure sets, branded with the office's slogan, where there's a will, there's a way. For comparison, auditors looking at 3 similarly sized Register of Wills. One, spending nothing on promotions. Another, $350 on pens. And a third, $2,500 on pens, calendars, and other items.
Apparently, this audit was long overdue.
Taxpayer advocate David Williams weighing in.
This shows that even the most benign agency can waste money and have problems.
Williams noting auditors found no justification for the spending and suspect in some cases the city's competitive bidding process was intentionally skirted.
There could be corruption tied to this. People need to see who the vendors are, where the money went, if there are any ties within the Register of Wills to make sure that someone in this agency hasn't been profiting off of this.
The audit also raising concerns over...
Stop. Paul, correct. He's literally saying what I just said. You have to follow the money trail. You have to have receipts. Where did it go? So you got $1.1 million of taxpayers' money. Your money. Your money. 1.1 just unaccounted for. And Belinda Conaway is, I mean, she's prancing around the circuit court, I guess, like she's Shirley Temple. Like her stuff doesn't stink. And you have Sheila Dixon. She got clipped for $600 in gift cards. $600. She gets clipped for that. Oh, yeah, she cut a deal, whatever, but that's what it ended up with. And then you got this woman, $1.1 million, unaccounted for. Taxpayers' money, and she's just, prancing around like she's Judy Garland. Let's continue.
Employee oversight, finding evidence one employee with a six-figure salary was repeatedly absent from work, and another accidentally paid $5,000 after they left the job.
This can't go unanswered. There has to be responsibility put on someone, and really it starts at the top.
In a letter, the city's Register of Wills, Belinda Conaway, a longtime city official, calling each of the allegations unsubstantiated, but adding the recommendations are appreciated and will be taken into consideration. In response, auditors stressing their findings are backed by facts.
You can't spend $1 million on promotions and media and $200,000 on a TV show and not have some repercussions.
While no legal action is being taken, auditors did refer some findings to the state's Ethics Commission.
Again, there's no legal action taken. So basically, the city of Baltimore is going to let Belinda Conaway get away with possible embezzlement and fraud of $1.1 million. And I read the report. I pulled it. I read the Office of Legislative Audit's report. I read it. I went through it. And they're going to say, no, don't do that again, Belinda. Stop. Don't do that. And that's it. And you people in Baltimore, you sit and you take that crap. What do you have, rocks for brains? I mean, that's why all over the country, especially going on in California and in Minnesota and in other, Maine, I guess, and other places, all this corruption, the Somalis and the corruption, Leering Center, daycare center, they can't even spell learning right. So all this corruption, I guess the feds need to come into Baltimore City and come into the state of Maryland with what's going on. And I'm going to stay on this. You know what? Because Belinda Conaway, she has a mentor. People, a lot of you have no idea what goes on. This is the outsiders, but trust and believe we have the inside information. And I spoke with, and I'm friends with her mentor, good friends, and former business associate, Desiree Dodson. Desiree Dodson mentored Belinda Conaway. Frank Conaway Sr., all true, ask Belinda. She denies that she's a liar. Frank Conaway went to Desiree Dodson. Desiree was running for office and had a down ticket, and Frank asked Desiree to put her daughter, who was a teacher, I guess he wanted her to carry on the Conaway Dynasty name. Belinda Washington's her name, okay. So Desiree took her under her wing, showed her how to canvass, showed her what to do. Frank taught her. She was taught well. And I went over what Belinda's been doing with here in Baltimore. All the antics, the $1.1 million unaccounted for, and the allegations of kidnapping in a federal civil lawsuit against her. And Desiree was quite upset. She said, I taught her better than that. The girl, I taught you better than that. What you doing? Sean, have her call me. I sent Belinda an email. Belinda, you need to call Desiree. Gave the phone number. You need to call her. Because this getting ready to blow. Chips going to fall where they may. Call her. And you know that Bubblehead Belinda, because that's what I'm going to call her, Bubblehead, because she thinks her stuff don't stink. And I don't care if you went to theological school. That's a joke. Your theological school, what did they teach you there? Did they teach you ethics in theological school? And she just talked just as nice. Oh yes, I'm just as nice. Sugar pie, honey bunch. Yeah, I'm Belinda Conaway. Yeah, you go ahead and do this, and just as nice. And just as phony and fake. And Desiree said, give her information, have her call me. You know if Bubblehead Belinda did not call her? I don't know, maybe she was too busy on Amazon, I don't know, searching for muumuus to buy. Off of Amazon. And didn't call. Because I guess she thinks she's above it all. I guess she thinks she can do whatever she wants. Her father, Frank Conaway Sr., is rolling in his grave at the embarrassment of what's going on. And I'm going to get to another embarrassment. And I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. Here it is. Now, this is my show, and this was December, I think it was December the 4th. I had a show, podcast on the rat invasion, and I want to start with this because I'm going to segue into this. So what's going on? The misinformation you people are being told, and the cover-up, and people who are getting behind the Conaways. I can't understand why you would soil yourself so and just take your reputation and throw it away. But I want to go over this so that people will know what happened on this date and then what happened on December 23rd, approximately 19 days later. At the same building, this is the Mitchell building. This is the circuit court for both judges are in these buildings, people. People go to these buildings, for jurors go to these buildings, they go to pull records. I used to go down that building when I was in the mortgage business, abstracting to get information for mortgages because I was marketing and that's what I would do. But people go in those buildings and you got a rat infestation problem. As a matter of fact, I called the place, regional pest management, and they confirmed it. Yes, there's rats. They're fighting them. They're trying to cure the situation. They say they don't know when. I've been told that there are rats the size of cats.
Oh my goodness!
They're right, like Trump said, they're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the rats. They're eating the dogs and the cats. But anyway,
we should be laughing, but
it's ridiculous. It's horrible. I hear that it's going into the jurors' rooms, where the jurors go to court, and people are running around through it. And I heard that they were running through there during the weekend. I guess they were having a party. I guess they were having a Diddy party in the daggone Mitchell building with the rats. So this this was put out, I believe, December 4th, December the 5th of 2024. Now, I'm going to play a little bit later on an interview, but we want to that's going to bring light to a situation. You people need to know. You need to know the truth because people are lying to you. You're being lied to. Okay, so we're gonna bring light to that. And what I want to do is I want to get into the other Conaway. This kid changed his name. He don't know his head from a hole in the wall. Okay. Changed his name from Xavier Washington. And I'm going to introduce him before I even get into it. Because this is what he is. The audit dodging, name changing, hallway switching, rat denying, sexual harassment protecting, no carbon copying, MDAC fraud covering up, son of a nameless goat. And I'm calling this the terror in the tutu. Xavier Washington Conaway. We're going to dive into this knucklehead, okay? And he had something that he wanted to say. You judges out there, people who are judges, this is the clerk of the court, Xavier Washington Conaway, 24, 5 years old, whatever. And he has something to say to you judges on his grandfather's show, the Frank Conaway Sr. Show, with the host, Carlton Douglas. And he had something he wanted to say to you judges. Now you listen up, judges. And you listen to what he's got to say.
You don't know how to rule on different situations. You don't know what they stand for. So how do you look into judges?
I have to get people involved in, because like you said, there's no one that runs against them because they run almost like the mafia. So listen quickly on, thank you so much for that comment. And about the judges, because I work with the judges.
Wait a minute, hold on. All right, quick,
very quick. It is important that you do look at to these judges, because a lot of judges, they are elected, but they do not act like they are elected. So this is a situation people really need to look into and get some competition with, because a lot of the ones I work for, they're elected, but they do not put the public first, and there are one that runs against them because they run almost like the mafia. So no.
They run the circuit court like the mafia. This is what Xavier Conaway, terror in the tutu, said about the judges. Really? Is that what they do? They run the circuit court like the mafia? You know what these gelding judges did about it? Because I didn't hear anything. They didn't do nothing. They just let him go on air, tell the whole world that, and this is the clerk of the court, let him go on air, and the clerk of the court tell the whole world that he runs they run the circuit court like the mafia. You can't make this up. I want to get into this, and this has to do with Meet the People. Jason Rodriguez. Jason Rodriguez, he's a booster of the Conaways. He's a Conaway booster. He says, oh, no, I'm not a booster. I'm not in bed with him. Oh, no, I'm not. That's what he is. He's a booster of the Conaways. And I went on the show December 23rd, 2024. That was about 19 days after this video, which I sent this video to Jason Rodriguez. I sent the video to him. I talked to him about the rats that were in the courthouse. Went over detail about the rats in the courthouse. I went over the information. As you can see, this is a text message to Jason Rodriguez on December 4th, 5th. And here's the show I sent to Jason. And I sent Jason information days before this interview you're going to listen to on his show. So Jason Rodriguez, who fancies himself as an investigative journalist, had all this information about the pest control company. I talked to him about the information. I sent him the text message so that you people can see. So he was well aware of all this information prior to this interview you're gonna hear. He knew about regional pest management control. I gave him information about that. I talked to him in detail. I had email. Oh, and before I play this here's an email. Let me put this up real quick. Y'all can freeze frame it. As you can see, Jason Rodriguez. And this was December the 20th. Here's the email thread with the administrative officer of the court's communication person, Nick Cavey. And you can see that, yeah, on December the 4th, 2024, I'm going to read part of the email to Jason Rodriguez, WOLB, Meet the People host, Mr. Journalist with Integrity, investigative journalist. Judicial officer staff, the clerk's office, and the sheriff's office located at the Mitchell Courthouse were informed of the rodent issue. On December 13, 2024, an update on remediation actions being conducted by the Baltimore City Department of General Services was issued. Thank you, Nick Cavey. This is from Nick Cavey saying this. Okay, Jason got this. This is Nick Cavey, the communications, saying it. Okay? That's proof. Proof in the pudding. Now, let's listen to what Jason has to say. Knowing all of this information, let's listen to this. Now, bear with me. I got to make sure this is on the right track. Okay.
People. So if we can, advocate, push some arms in the process. What about the feds in this situation? Is this something where we really need the Fed, but we have this transition going on? Where do you see us in reference to federal partners or
available to all employees? So that is
okay. Let's get it.
And I've been continuing to try to push and work with them through the Maryland Judiciary, through the General Assembly to try to get something done and move us forward. And that's the thing. And I know the police does a great job, but I am willing to work with anyone who is willing to assist the employees and make sure they are taken care of. There are some individuals trying to spread false information and everything, but we need to make sure we...
Whoa. So I guess one of the individuals, stop right there. He said there are some individuals trying to spread false information. Now, would that individual be Nick Cavey? Nick Cavey, he is with the communications department with the state of Maryland. Government communications. See, people like me and the media so on, when we want questions asked, well, I have a question for this one over here. Like right now I have one that's outstanding. I have a question. I sent it to Nicholas Cavey regarding the costs for the Maryland electronic court system and what was the equipment. How much did it cost for the equipment, the labor? You use your staff, judiciary clerks, in order to remove overcharged fees paid by the mayor's office and the Baltimore City Council. Let me see. They paid the money. Wait. They paid the money for over 20 years. This is a lot of money, people. So for 20 years, the mayor's office and the Baltimore City Council were paying fees being overcharged. Overcharged. That's your taxpayers' money. So this one had his staff, his employees, judiciary employees, allegedly removing the monies that were paid. So it would look like nothing was paid. Nothing. And this went on paying all these fees for over 20 years. But they had to get the index system set up. So I want to know how much it cost the taxpayers to pay for the people who are the judiciary employees in order to remove fees that were paid to show that they weren't paid. And the bulletproof glass and the parking for the employees, that's free. It's nothing free. How much did it cost you? Anyway, I'm going to continue.
Working with honest people to ensure that the public public and the public workers are having the support needed. So all I say, just please keep speaking out, and we can do this. I know it's possible. It's hard, but it is possible.
Is a rat infestation, is that false information, Xavier? Is a rat infestation within that circuit court, and you not letting the public know about the rat infestation, the Legionnaires, where they have hand sanitizers, is that false information?
That is false information. That is false information because the employees, excuse me.
Sean, I don't want to put you
on. Now you hear Jason buttoning, Sean, I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to do this. Sean, why? What is Jason Rodriguez's relationship with the Conaways? What is your relationship with Xavier Conaway? Bro, y'all seem a little real close. You're like really defending, can he take care of his own business? Well, he's too much of a child to be able to defend. I don't need anybody to defend me on a call. I can take care of my own business. So let's listen to the rest, and you have to hear this.
You're lying to the public.
Sean, I don't want to put you on
hold. He was lying to the public.
To rebut. Again, he's willing to stand.
No, that's a lie. Jason Rodriguez did not give me an opportunity to rebut. That's a lie. And when he says he's here as a lion, yeah, lion, he is A-L-Y-I-N, lion.
As a lion, you either come as a lion or a gazelle.
Yeah, he is a lion.
He is here to stand in front of us.
Go ahead.
So
go ahead.
Yes. Thank you. We give out hand sanitizers accessible to the entire office. Now, we're continuing to provide even more due to this situation, but it's always accessible, just like there is water available to all employees. So that is completely untrue, and the staff does have access, and along with math, that has always been available to the staff, as we stated since my first time in the office. In addition, there is not a rat infestation. We do have a pest issue that is being handled by DGS, but calling it infestation is a specific word, and it's not true.
No, they actually said, the regional pest management actually literally said rat infestation.
It's not infestation, because if there was infestation, the buildings would be closed. And to be clear again...
Whoa, stop right there. Now, what he just said is very important. He said, if there's a rat infestation... Now, this is the clerk of the court. You people voted this kid in here. He don't know his head from a hole in the wall. And he's making false statements. He's just lying outright. Jason knew full well about all of this, had all the information. So he just made a statement. And I'm going to AI it. Again, I love this AI. Can a government building open with a rat infestation? Because he said, no, if there was a rat infestation, we couldn't open. Can a government building open with a rat infestation? And I'm AIing it to see, because I love this. And this is great. Yes, it's possible for a government building to remain open with a known infestation. Period. Yep. And here's this. Health codes generally dictate that all buildings, including government facilities, must be kept free of rodent infestations to ensure the safety and welfare of occupants. Oh, gee whiz, you know what? There was a whistleblower. You hear this, Wes Moore? Because you knew all about it. There was a whistleblower who blew the whistle on rats being in the building with MOSH, Maryland Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Let them know about it. And the Baltimore City Health Department, and blew the whistle on it. And guess what? She ended up getting fired. Maybe people in the investigative journalists like Jason, who knew all about all of this, you know what, Jason? Let some real investigative journalists look into it. Let's continue.
The building condition is under the authority of the city. I cannot operate and own that building. I cannot close it by my command. I cannot hold people.
You know you don't own the building, dummy.
I encourage them, always push DGS and the project services of the city to make sure they're doing everything possible but this situation and all others, and I have the records to prove that, and the city and the employees know that I want every single correspondence when it comes to cleaning maintenance of the buildings, because I want to make clear to DGS and city leadership that when things are taken care of, I follow up myself personally. I want every single email.
Sure, prove it. See, you know, don't sing it, bring it. Where's the proof? You're running your mouth about everything, Xavier. Terror in a tutu. You're running your mouth and you don't have no proof whatsoever. Nothing. You just popping off at the mouth.
And that is in the proof in the pudding.
All right, we appreciate you. And so I think he said that. And again, that's not technically.
Now here's your PR person, Jason Rodriguez. He's the investigative journalist with integrity. Go ahead, Jason. Keep going.
100% his responsibility. There is a general service that's managing that. He could be an advocate and he could be held accountable for his part, and that's what he's done by coming here and presenting himself and being accountable for his part.
Jason, I called the regional management pest control. I saw the van there, okay, took a picture of the van. He called them, asked them, are there rats in the building? What's going on? They told.
Now, here's the thing. I told Jason all of this stuff days earlier. Even during this show, I went over all this stuff earlier in the show. So he's acting like he don't know anything.
Me, yes. It's been an ongoing problem. The building does have a lot of problems, but the situation that is so horrible and negligent is him not informing the public about the Legionnaire possibility that there are rats.
That's not true. Not true. Not true.
Yeah. So he's standing and he's.
Okay. So that enough of that. So that's what's going on, and there's more going on. That audio meet the people. That situation. You can all hear the phoniness and the lies. And just this past Friday on the 23rd, this past Friday, looking at my calendar, here we go again. I gotta play this because I need to understand, why would somebody take their integrity and just throw it away? Or any integrity or lack thereof, throw it away. And this interview was on Colton Douglas is the host of the Frank Conaway Sr. Show. And Jason Rodriguez decided he wanted to come on the Frank Conaway Sr. Show. And you have to hear what he had to say. Let me cue it up. It sounds like an endorsement's getting ready to come. TMI, don't even know that. Hey, dummy, they know who you are because your name is on all of the paperwork. Jason Rodriguez. The people there listen to WOLB. They know who you are because you have the paperwork. Duh. and besides, they're not going to tell you what's going on. You go there for what? A half an hour, 45 minutes, however long you were there, and you just, everything is roses and sunshine. I talked to people and they said everything was just wonderful and great. Oh my goodness, it's just, they love it here and it's just great. And I've been talking to people for the last little over 4 years. I have documentation, information, complaints. There have to be close to 100 complaints filed against Xavier Conaway and his office and his management. There has to be. And you have Bishop Barry Chapman, who has been helping these people as part of the union, helping them as a rep and helping them on his own for like almost 30 years. So you got me with 4, you got him with 30. So we got all these people saying this guy right here is a terror. Retaliating, covering up, allegations of covering up sexual harassment or alleged sexual harassment, terrorizing the people, disciplinary actions, just throwing them out, firing people like crazy. So all this, and Jason, you knew about all this. I told you. And you think I was stupid enough, knowing that you were in bed with the Conaways, you just spooning. You just spooning with the Conaways. Y'all just cuddled all up, all nice and tight and spooning, and you just protected them. And y'all just cradling, colling each other, a whole bed full of crap. The Conaways, these Conaways are cancer to Baltimore City. And you think I'm stupid enough to give you the names of all these people who are being terrorized by the terror in the tutu. So you can run back and tell Moo Belinda, Bubblehead, and tell who these people are so he can scheme and set up to get rid of them. Constructive discharge to push them out or outright fire them. And you think I'm going to give you that information, Jason? So let's go on. Investigative.
Identify that on purpose to try to get an organic feel from them as to how they feel they are performing the job and how their work environment is. But I can tell you that all the ladies that were there together, including the supervisor that was helping me with an issue with my neighbors, they all said that they love what they do.
Of course they're going to tell you that. They know you're in bed with the Conaways, you their boy. They, oh yeah, Mr. Jason, everything just fine here. Oh, we love it, everything just fine. Because they know you're going to run back and tell them. They don't want to lose their jobs. They don't want to get attacked anymore they have. They don't want to be retaliated against. I advise them file lawsuits. Get yourself a lawyer. Get all your documentation and go to the EEOC and get your notice of right to sue and then sue them. That's what you do. Protect yourself. And then if they're stupid enough to fire you after that, sue them again. That's what you do. So here, where is it? This is, I'm going to write this down. I'm going to fill this out right now. There's a Jason Rodriguez. I'm going to fill it out. Rodriguez. Okay. And what? Investigative journal? Investigative journalist. Investigative journalist card. Card. Jason Rodriguez. Investigative is kind of off. I watched it. That's a Jason Rodriguez investigative journalist card. It's not real, but it's a representation. That your card's tore up. You have no credibility whatsoever to receive the information you had and to do nothing and then to get on here and talk about and then you gonna run the water, carry the water for the Conaways. You should be embarrassed. I don't know what kind of relationship you and this one have. I don't know how close you two are. I don't know what's going on. I don't. But it's sad. It's pathetic. And he gonna get on his show and I'm Sean Sims said this and Sean Sims said this about me. Sean Sims is only telling the truth. And you're gonna get on there and whine and cry. Why don't you do this, Jason? Why don't you do this? Why don't you, okay, film your little show at 1010 WOLB, then put it on YouTube. And let's see how many views you get. Let's see if you got the cojones to do it. And let's see how many views you get, because Carlton's show was on YouTube for a little while, but he yanked it because he wasn't getting any views. Maybe what, 30, 50, 20 views or something like that. His viewership sucked. So why don't you go ahead and do that, Ace? So let's go ahead and segue, because I got one more thing. Because let's listen to all this stuff he's saying, and you know, it's a bunch of crap. Let's listen to somebody who's an employee, who actually works there and actually did call in to the show. Carlton was doing the host of Frank Conaway Senior Show, and an employee actually called in. Let's take a listen. Let me go ahead and cue this up. Okay, I'm trying to cue it up. Okay.
Catch up because of all these delays. That means people who are detained have to be detained longer. That means once everybody, it has a serious consequence on our city. And for too long, I think a lot of our leaders just kind of understand. Everyone understands that courthouses are outdated and in terrible condition, but no one really wants to act with any agency. So all I say, whether it was with the water main breaks or the underground fires, that 3 times where I demanded an investigation from the Public Service Commission from the state, you can look that up. I did that too last year. That I just want to, even though it's our responsibility for someone, for us to come together and say, this is not good enough. We can do better than this. We are better than this. The people don't deserve to have their health and safety risked in these courthouses. Okay. Let's go to Bernice. Bernice, you're on here.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Is there any feedback? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Douglas, I appreciate you opening up this forum.
Now let me just preface it. We can listen to the rest. This is a person who's an employee who works there. Not I went in and I talked to the people and they said everything was roses and sunshine and they said everything was great. No, and he was there for half an hour. Please, this is a joke. This is an employee. Now listen to what she has to say.
Because of the responses that I'm hearing from the clerk. There's only there's one question I have and only one comment I have. The comment that I have is regarding the Legionnaires. Clerk Conaway indicated that December 8th or 9th that he was the only one that was proactive about the Legionnaires or the possibility of Legionnaires in the building. On August 1st, 2024 at 3:15 p.m., I sent an email to his administrative office. And again, in I believe 2025, when I had a meeting with Clerk Conaway and all of his assistant deputy clerks and HR regarding another personnel matter, I also elaborated on what I'm about to end.
Okay. Have a little technical difficulty. But this is another person who, and I have plenty of employees who will say, wait a minute, this guy, he made my life miserable.
That matter, I also elaborated on what I'm about to indicate. I'm sure this will probably get me terminated. However,
Yeah, because he likes to fire people.
Stand by and accept the actions that is going on in the Maryland Judiciary Circuit Court to Baltimore City. And it's not enough time on your show to elaborate it all. But what I'm going to say is that I contacted his office via email. They have the email. And they were copied. And I indicated that I'm sorry, hold on 1 second. It was at August 1st at 1:25 p.m. I indicated, and I'm just going to read it briefly. I hope this message finds you well, considering the recent outbreak of Legionella disease linked to the presence of Legionella bacteria in the water at 200 St. Paul Plaza, which houses the Maryland Attorney General's office. I'm writing this email to inquire whether immediate action is warranted for the testing of the water in our office premises. Given the serious health risks associated with Legionella bacteria, I believe it is crucial to ensure that our water, speaking about the circuit court buildings and the juvenile justice system, water supply is thoroughly tested to safeguard the well-being of all staff and visitors. I would appreciate it if you could provide information on the following: current status as to has the water in our offices ever been tested for any type of bacteria, including Legionella bacteria in the past or recently, and if so, where can those results be obtained? Secondly, are there any plans to conduct any testing to ensure no potential contaminants or contaminations? And third, are there steps already in place to prevent such issues for the Circuit Court of Baltimore City, like that of the Attorney General's office in their random testing? I would greatly appreciate your attention to this inquiry. In addition, you may want to access WBNL News as they did the reporting and have been stationed outside the Mitchell Courthouse throughout this week regarding this subject matter. Thank you for your immediate attention to this important issue. After I sent that email, I just basically received a cursory email telling me that I need to follow the chain of command. That was August 1st, 2024. So basically, I feel like if some action was taken, proactive response, and had our water tested, we may have found out about it as far back as August.
Yeah, and there's more. There's more with the water testing and the rats, the infestation, the asbestos. Most was notified. Most did not do an inspection. They did not go down and do an inspection where they were notified of the rats and the asbestos and the legionnaires and all of this stuff. So they are also in the trenches as far as being responsible or being irresponsible and not doing their duties as well. So we're going to keep taking a look, but the Conaway Dynasty, this one, and Belinda Bubblehead, that's what I call it, Bubblehead and the Terror in the Tutu. The Conaway name has been drugged through the mud, and now it's just a disgrace now with what's going on. So let's talk about what I brought up earlier, and then we're gonna close out. But I want to touch on this, and that has to do with the whistleblowing. Let's get to Governor Wes Moore and this issue that's going on with this whistleblowing and SNAP and how he doesn't know anything. Let's dive into this just for a little bit, because this is very important. The whistleblowers are not being protected. They're being treated like trash. People are not covering them. They're not, I mean, they're not doing anything. They're not doing anything to help them, assist them, and then they talk about, we want to know the truth. We want to know what's going on. Then you have people come out and say, this is what's going on, and then they turn their back on them. So no wonder people don't want to whistleblow, because you got these big phonies and these people who are supposed to be state delegates or representatives and state senators or senators, congress people, and they do nothing, aiding and abetting the other side, aiding and abetting. But let's go to this story with Governor Moore and whistleblowing.
Tonight, more calls for accountability and federal oversight amid an alleged staff Post reported by Spotlight on Maryland. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Maxine Stryker. While several state delegates called for action, the governor is denying the controversy. Multiple whistleblowers told Spotlight on Maryland that 2 senior state officials allegedly hatched a plan to maintain a high error rate on food stamp payments by not correcting the errors, hoping to delay $240 million in federal penalties. Former employees, including a senior official at the Department of Human Services, have accused 2 of their superiors at DHS of the plan to buy enough time for the penalties to potentially be canceled after President Donald Trump left office.
Those folks, senior officials that work in state government, should be there to protect taxpayers. They should be there to do the right thing. And I'm really proud of those whistleblowers.
Okay, you're saying a lot there, Kathy. I sent her an email stating the ultimate whistleblower whistle-blew on 2 main subjects, and that is financial fraud going on at the Circuit Court for Baltimore City, major financial fraud, okay, and health issues with rats and infestation, and that person being fired for whistleblowing. And what you're going to do, what are you going to do to help the whistleblowers? What are you going to do about the situation? So I sent Kathy Shaliga, I sent her an email, so I'm going to see if I hear back from her. But she sure looked good here. She sounds like she for the whistleblowers and protecting them, and you know what? The proof is in the pudding. Again, people talk. Talk. Looks good, but let's see what you're going to actually do. Let me continue.
You saw a scheme going on before their eyes, and they confronted their leadership.
The former senior official told Spotlight on Maryland they informed DHS they were going to tell the Inspector General about the alleged corruption. About a month later, they say they were placed on administrative leave and terminated.
Yep, that's what they do.
As an act of retaliation. In multiple statements to
Sue 'em.
Maryland, neither DHS nor the governor's office denied the allegations until Friday, when Governor Moore denied the claims in a sit-down with Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost.
With the issue of SNAP funding and the whistleblower allegations that top officials within DHS were knowingly trying to keep these errors in place and potentially putting that on the backs of taxpayers, did you know that was happening?
Well, no, and also
He's lying. Well, first of all, get him out of office. Get him out of office. If you are a person of color, a black person, do not vote because he is black. This man, he is raising taxes, fees. He rated a $5.5 billion surplus. We are $1.5 billion in a deficit. He's raising everything, and he's raising Cain. Get him out. Get him out. This used car salesman, fake, phony. He's from Baltimore, lie. Okay, get him out. Okay, that's all I got to say about Wes Moore on that matter. Let's continue.
That's not the case.
The whistleblower allegations are false.
No, what uncover the...
You hear him stumbling? I got to go back. That's good. Let's go back. Hear him stumbling? He's stumbling and bumbling.
And also, I want to be clear, that's not the case.
So the whistleblower allegations are false.
No, what we
the
allegations.
He's lying.
Those things were not happening.
The governor says...
Well, I done sent you emails about whistleblower situation, Governor Wes Moore. I sent to you, sent it to his office, sent it directly to you. So you know about a whistleblowing situation that took place at the Circuit Court for Baltimore City. I guess you're going to tell Mackenzie when and if that story and others, because I'm sure there are other whistleblowers in other state agencies throughout the state of Maryland. They're starting to come out if they haven't already come out. And is he going to say the same thing? I didn't know.
Investigation has been done and the public will see the findings. The Department of Human Services spokesperson Ben Schneider adding Friday, quote, the notion that DHS employees were directed to do anything other than continue efforts to drive down the SNAP payment error rate is patently false. However, Spotlight
Island, Maryland did not report that DHS employees were directed to maintain a high SNAP payment error rate.
This is wrong. It's not just morally wrong, but in some cases it could potentially be criminally wrong. And we wonder, Governor Wes Moore, what will be enough to get you to fire the Secretary of Human Services?
In response, the Maryland Freedom Caucus has issued 3 formal letters, one to the governor calling for the removal of DHS Secretary Rafael Lopez, a letter to U.S. Department of Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins requesting federal oversight of Maryland's SNAP administration, and a letter to President Donald Trump and Congressman Andy Harris informing them of the situation and the caucus actions. Delegate Kathy Shalega says this is about more than politics and needs to be taken seriously.
Something must be done to protect the public and protect taxpayers and make sure that people in state government are not frauding, scheming, and cooking up plans to take money away from taxpayers and programs that are meant to feed poor people.
I agree with her. Kathy, let's see what you're going to do about the information that I sent you. We're going to continue to look at this. The Conaway Dynasty, utter disgrace. I'm Sean Sims, host of the Outsiders Podcast. It's 2026. And I'm telling you what, I'm all out of bubble gum. God bless and take care.